Welcome to New Possibilities. I speak truth to power without fear. So I'm going to get started in a couple of minutes. I want to give people time to tune in to this hangout. It's going to be a short hangout. I wanted to talk about some developments involving the Bakari Henderson case. This is a case that was tried in Greece. I will provide a link in the cards to an earlier video that I did about this particular issue. You had an African-American man, he went to Greece. He was there for some promotional video shoot to promote his products, like he sells clothing from what I understand. He's a graduate of the University of Arizona. And while he was there, he was at a bar and he took a photograph with one of the bartenders, a white woman, from what I understand. And you had some of the white patrons there. They were upset about this. And because of that, a fight ensued. One person proceeded to punch him, and then he punched that person. And then the fight went outside, and this brother was literally beaten to death. And this all started simply because he took a photograph with a white woman bartender. And this case went to trial. 9 people were charged with this particular crime, and 3 of them were exonerated. 6 of them were convicted on assault charges. They weren't even charged, if I'm not mistaken, they weren't even charged with murder, or if they were charged with murder, they were only convicted of assault. So the people that were convicted, they face between 5 and 15 years for their crimes. And according to this news report that I saw, these people were giving each other high fives after the verdict was rendered. So they were happy with the result. Here you have a black man that was essentially lynched, killed simply for taking a photograph with a white woman. And this is the result that you have in this particular case. And I'm just going to read a couple of excerpts from this article, and then I'm going to provide my further commentary. If you all can just bear with me for 1 second. So it says that, this happened back in July 2017 when this brother was killed. It says Henderson was at a bar taking a selfie with a Greek woman bartender when he was confronted by a group of angry men. The bartender told investigators that after posing for the picture with Henderson, a man nearby said, "There are a lot of Serbs in this bar. Why are you taking or talking to a black guy?" After that, the man hit Henderson in the face, and Henderson defended himself by hitting back. And then the fight continued outside, where a mob of at least 9 men chased and attacked him, which led to his death in just 30 seconds. And it says, these men were convicted of assault charges. Again, they face between 5 to 15 years imprisonment. And obviously the family is disappointed with this verdict, because here you have somebody that was literally murdered by these people, beaten to death by these people. And all they're being charged with is assault, when these people should be spending the rest of their lives behind bars, when these people should be convicted of murder. They basically got away with this stuff, man. They got a slap on the wrist. And, as I mentioned before, it says this: meanwhile, the defendants were reportedly seen hugging, smiling, hugging, and exchanging high fives after the verdicts were read. This is outrageous, man, that this kind of thing would happen. And, as far as I'm concerned, this is nothing but a modern day Emmett Till situation, where you all recall what happened to Emmett Till. You had this teenager who reportedly whistled at a white woman, and because of that, some people lynched that brother, and there was no justice for that brother. despite people seeing the perpetrators and all that kind of stuff. They literally got away with murder in the Emmett Till case. And here you have a situation in Greece where a black man, his only crime was taking a selfie with a white bartender, with a white woman. I mean, that is literally insane that somebody would be beaten to death over something like that. That is crazy, man. It is crazy that something like that would happen in 2017, and here we are in 2018, and instead of charging these people with murder, they get charged with an assault when they killed this brother. And it reminds me of something that Mos Def rapped about in one of his songs. You know, he has this song, Mr. Nigger, where he talks about when you travel abroad, they got world nigger law. So it's like, despite, you know, we think about like racism just being a phenomenon here in America. Like a lot of people think, well, Europe is more liberated. You know, people are more tolerant in Europe. And we see that black people face the same kind of hostility in these foreign countries in Europe and stuff like that. You know, they face the same kind of racism. You have a court system over there that apparently is similar to this US court system. It doesn't view Black lives as being important. Black lives do not matter over there as well. Here you had this brother beaten to death, and these guys are getting a slap on the wrist. Many of them may get out in like 5 years. And they realized that they were getting a slap on the wrist. That's the only explanation as to why they would be hugging and celebrating the verdict in that case. And then you have 3 people that got off completely. I mean, this is absolutely outrageous, man. And despite my thoughts about like interracial relationships, you know, obviously I believe that black men should be with black women. You know, black men need to, you know, stop clinging on to these white women, you know, stop idolizing white women and all that kind of stuff, and love and embrace their own black women. That's who we should be with. But despite that, I don't think that anybody should be beaten to death simply for taking a selfie. This man wasn't in no relationship with this woman. He simply took a photograph with this woman, and for that, he was killed. Just like Emmett Till. Emmett Till, he simply allegedly whistled at this white woman or said hi to this white woman, and because of that, he's dead. It's insane, man. It's literally insane, and it shows you like how much they fear black men being with black women. And it's really sickening, man. It's sickening that that would happen. And from what I understand, this brother went on this trip and he was with some white friends of his. And I just wonder about those white friends, as I said in the original video that I did about, you know, on this subject. Like, where were those white friends when this fight happened? What did those white friends of his do when this fight happened? You know, I know that when I'm with some people, like, you know, just based on my life as a, you know, somebody from the hood or whatever, if one of your friends get into an altercation while you're all out together, then everybody is involved in that altercation. That becomes your fight as well. And it seems like his friends just left him hanging, man. And I think that that's a metaphor for like white America and white people in general, a lot of white people in general. They leave black people hanging at times when it really matters, man. You know, unfortunately, that happens a lot. And, you know, it's just a shame that you have these, you know, his friends, they didn't do anything to intervene. They didn't try to stop this fight from happening. They didn't try to defend him or stand up for him. They let these people beat him to death. It's crazy, man. It's crazy that you would have a situation like this happen, man. But I just had to hop on here and share my views. I'm going to see what you all are saying before I sign out. Shout out to Evan King. Shout out to Frankie Robertson. Shout out to my man Garage Autonomous. Shout out to Bonafide 1970. Shout out to Still Learning. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, Still Learning said white supremacy is a global system. I'm not surprised. The anti-blackness is real. Yeah, I mean, it is a global system. It's like, no matter where you go, this system of, white racism, white supremacy, Western imperialism is worldwide. So, this notion that you can somehow run away from it, these people that have this escapist mentality, they think if they go to Europe, then they're away from white racism. Or you have these black separatists that want to have some separate nation. They think that by running back to Africa or something like that, you're escaping the racism or the white supremacy. When the fact of the matter is, it's a global system of dominance, a global ideology that even poisons the minds of our brothers and sisters on the continent and places like in the Caribbean, where you have our people bleaching their skin and all that kind of stuff. So it's a global system. And, that's a very valid point. But, because here you have another reminder that Black lives don't matter. I mean, we're used to hearing about how Black lives don't matter here in the States. And, this is just a reminder that it doesn't matter in many parts of the world. This brother only took a photograph with this woman. It's not even like he was on some date with this woman or whatever. And it reminds me of like that situation, where you had a black man, an African in China beaten to death by these Chinese guys for being with a Chinese woman or whatever. And it's like, man, it's just crazy. It seems like with these kind of incidents, man, it seems like that would be a wake-up call to our people and just make it clear that, I mean, you should be with your own at the end of the day. But again, as I said before, these crimes are not justified. And these people that commit these kinds of crimes against our people, they need to be punished to the full extent of the law. And here you had a situation where these people get a slap on the wrist. That's crazy, man. It's absolutely crazy. I will have a link in the description box to this article that I'm referencing in this video so that you all can read it for yourself. And actually, there's a video in that particular article of Bakari Henderson's mother talking about her frustration with this particular verdict. This situation is insane, man. So let me see what people are saying. So Coco Ness Fox said, what are we going to do to stop it? Yeah, that's the question that that's the $1 million question that needs to be answered, man. The question about what can we do to stop it, especially like abroad, that's a deep question. Like, what can we do as citizens in this country to affect outcomes in countries like Greece and all that kind of stuff? That's why, the international piece is very important. And that's what Brother Malcolm tried to put us on to, working through the UN, dealing with these things on a human rights level, going beyond just civil rights to human rights, dealing with these matters in the international forum of the UN. And I know that that's something that, many groups have done before, like they have gone before the UN to bring complaints and all that kind of stuff. But that outcome is just outrageous, man. I think that, one of the things that we have to be prepared to do for ourselves right here in this country is to defend ourselves. We have a legal right to defend ourselves. We have a legal right to bear arms, and we should exercise those rights. We should defend ourselves and our communities, man. We shouldn't allow people to brutalize us and attack us and, sit back and allow this stuff to happen and just complain about it. The Black Panthers in the 60s, when they created the Black Panther Party, they didn't talk about defending Black people. They actually got out there and did it. They actually took up arms and defended Black people from, these oppressive police officers. They defended Black people, and that's what we need to be prepared to do. You got these white supremacist groups training in firearms every day, training in like on training camps and stuff like that, where they literally have targets and stuff like that. They train in survival You know, and my question is, what are we doing? Where is our survival organization or our training for and use of firearms and stuff like that? Where is it? So yeah, we need to be prepared to defend ourselves, man. Just bear with me a second. I'm gonna go through some more of your comments before I sign out. But that's the important question, man. What are we prepared to do, man? You got a lot of talkers. A lot of us like to talk, but very few of us like to do stuff, man. Very few of us are organizing anything here on YouTube, man. You know, these people like to talk, you know, these people don't even want to organize people around voting and stuff like that. I'm not aware of any of these prominent personalities on here organizing hardly any petition drives or any protest. You know, they're good for organizing speaking engagements where they get paid money and all that kind of stuff. And there's nothing wrong with people getting paid. But where's your real work for the community? Where's your real effort to make a difference, to address these types of problems that our people face? Coconut Fox said, where are the good white people? Where are the good white people, man? And that's a profound question, man. You know, and it seems very simple, but it's deep, man. Because where are those? I'm sure that his friends, you know, they consider themselves to be good white people. I'm sure they consider themselves to be liberals or whatever. They consider themselves not to be racist, but it's like, where were they when this brother was in this fight, man? What did they do? Did they try to stop it? Did they try to fight these people back or anything? Where were they? I mean, and you do have examples of white people, for instance, who have, you know, sacrificed, who have died fighting for civil rights and human rights. You do have those people. You do have people that financially support organizations that are fighting against discrimination. You have plenty of those people, but not nearly enough. You know, too often, a lot of times, these people, even the people of goodwill, just sit on the sidelines while these things happen. All people of goodwill need to be fighting against racism and white supremacy. You know, it's not enough to say, well, you know, I don't support these races and this and that. You have to get involved if you care about these problems of racism and white supremacy, man. And I think that, you know, in the meantime, Black people need to be organizing, man. We got to move beyond just talking about things. We got to move beyond just talking about defending ourselves, and we have to actually do it. And there are groups out here that are prepared to defend themselves, like the Huey P. Newton Rifle Club or something like that. I think that's the title, you know, where you have these African Americans that are trained in firearms and they defend Black communities. You do have those groups, but you need more of that. You need more Black people to recognize the importance of self-defense. And there's nothing radical about defending yourself. It's only intelligent. It's like we've been so thoroughly brainwashed. We think that things that are basic are radical. The basic idea that you had a right to defend yourself from people that are trying to do you harm, somehow people view that as radical. When we live in a time where you have these hate crimes going on, you had that man go to that Kroger's and shoot 2 innocent Black people. You had a man go in the synagogue and shoot all those people. You had Dylan Roof go in that church and kill 9 people. We have to be prepared to defend ourselves, man. The church needs to be prepared to defend itself and be on point, man. You can't just let anybody walk up in your church or whatever. And, you know, the thing is, like, why you see these people, these despicable people attacking Black men, for instance, for looking at a white woman or being in a relationship with a white or non-Black woman, while they do that, why they, go hard on black men for dating out and stuff like that. We allow anybody to come up in our community and have their way with black women, man. When will we stand up for black women? You got these Arabs and stuff like that in these stores that disrespect our women, and we're okay with that. We allow that. When will we stand up for our women? And I'm not condoning what these people did. I don't think we need to do what those people did, but we need to defend ourselves in our community and stand up for our women. Shout out to Brother Johns. Thanks for tuning in. Just bear with me a second. I got to go back. These comments bounce around. So. Yeah, so Still Learning said one of the things we need to do is educate ourselves and our children. And Coco Ness Fox basically said that the majority of schools don't teach students about our real history. They're not taught about that stuff. And a lot of our, the parents don't know the true history of black people. They don't know about our accomplishments. They don't know about, much of our history. So that's a very valid point. Um, yeah, so Bonafide 1970 said, as a result of this acquittal, and yet three of them were acquitted. Like three of them were exonerated, and six of them were convicted, but they were only convicted of assault charges, and they literally got away with murder. They got away with murder, so they're only charged with assault, which is an outrage. So they weren't. I just want to be clear, like all those people involved were not acquitted, but still, the point is well taken, and some kind of action needs to happen. You know, um, and I doubt that the Trump administration will take any kind of action at all in this situation or express any kind of outrage at all. Given the Trump administration's track record, seeing how they responded to that situation involving that Saudi reporter that was, killed and dismembered. So I'm not holding my breath expecting the Trump administration to do anything. But one thing that we can do is, find out what products um, are made in Greece, what important products that come to America. And we can, as a community, decide not to buy those products. That's something that we can do. Just bear with me 1 second. I'm looking through your comments. Shout out to David Bowman. I'm going to have to leave in a second. I got to get ready for work. Wes said, "Black is so beautiful. When we realize it, it's so sad, man." I agree. Yeah, I want to be clear, David Bowman. They weren't cleared. Like three of them were cleared. Three of them were completely, exonerated, but six were convicted of assault charges. So I just want to be clear on that. They were cleared of murder charges. They didn't get convicted of murder, but they were convicted of assault. Yeah, I mean that whole thing about black people and guns and like our right to defend ourselves, that's a very valid question that you're raising. It's like in this country, every other group, white people had a right to defend themselves. They have the right to bear arms. But when black people try to defend ourselves and try to bear arms, they crack down on black communities. We saw what they did to the Black Panther Party, destroyed that organization, locked up many of their leaders, killed many of the Black Panthers. And when we compare that to how the establishment responded to white protesters who were armed, for instance, those protesters in Oregon, if I'm not mistaken, the federal government basically gave them a pass. And from what I understand, those people got away with their protests and stuff like that. They were exonerated. So there's a completely different reaction. There are videos here on YouTube where they compare police reaction to a white man with a assault rifle compared to how they responded to a black man walking around with an assault rifle. So yeah, man, it's like a double standard. Black people are gunned down and stuff like that for bearing arms. But yet these white people, when they bear arms, they're viewed as some kind of patriots and stuff. But yeah, we can't sit back and allow ourselves to be like sitting ducks and stuff, open and easy targets for harassment and killings and lynchings and stuff like that. We got to defend ourselves, man. And that's only intelligent, man. It's nothing, again, nothing radical about that. Just bear with me 1 second. No, I didn't hear about that story, Frankie Robinson. I'm going to have to look that up. I'm going to get more information about that. And I think somebody else sent me a link on that particular story. So I'm going to look into that. And I may do that in a future video. Shout out to Power to the People. Shout out to Concrete Jungle. Concrete Jungle said if the brother had something on him, he would probably still be alive. Yeah, he probably would. Like if he pointed a gun at those people, they would have backed up. They would have left him alone, man. Because from what I understand, those people weren't armed. They just beat the brother. It's crazy. Just bear with me 1 second, y'all. Yeah, so I want to thank y'all for tuning in. I truly appreciate it. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. Like the video, share the video, hit that notification bell so that you'll know when I'm going live. And again, one of my goals is to try to reach 10,000 subscribers before the end of the year. That's what I want to reach. I know that's a high goal to reach, but I think we can do it. I know that this is a quality channel. I put out great content, not to be bragging or anything, but I hope that you all support this channel, encourage your friends to subscribe to this channel. I'm going to post more regularly, and I want to thank you all for your support. Also, I want to remind you all that on Tuesday, I had a debate with Obsidian, the second part to my debate with him, and that debate was over on his channel. I will post a link to the debate in the description box. Well, not in the description box, in the comment section. And I'll probably put it there too in the description box as well as soon as I get a chance so that you all can check it out. Now, he recently put up a clip from that discussion. Our discussion was about an hour and a half, and I think his video clip that he put up is a little under an hour, so some of the debate is not included. Also, the link that I'll provide has the discussion that they had after the debate where they were talking about like who they thought won and all that kind of stuff. You have to hear some of the things that these Black Republicans are saying so that you can see just how lost a lot of these people are, you know, how they don't even view racism as a issue in this society. They downplay the significance of racism. So you all have to check this out. Again, I'm going to post that link in the description box and in the comment section to this video so you can check it out and tell me what you think about the debate. So let me look at your last comments before I sign out. Yeah, Bonafide 1970 said, I'm surprised you don't already have over 10,000 subscribers. Yeah, me too. But y'all can help make it happen, man. Just encourage people to subscribe to my channel. Shout out to the real Aaron Collins. Yeah, I'm signing off, Aaron Collins. I'm about to sign off, but I want to thank y'all for tuning in. Peace.